The shrill ring of my phone pierced through the clatter of dishes and the soft hum of our family dinner conversation. I glanced at the caller ID, frowning at the unfamiliar number. "Excuse me," I said, rising from the table. "I should take this. It might be work." Tom nodded, his mouth full of pot roast. Our daughter Lily barely looked up from her plate, engrossed in pushing her vegetables around with her fork. I stepped into the hallway, pressing the phone to my ear. "Hello, this is Melissa." "Is this Melissa Thompson?" A woman's voice, hushed and urgent, came through the line. "Yes, it is. Who's calling? Someone who thinks you deserve to know the truth." The woman paused and I heard her take a shaky breath. "Your husband, Tom? He's having an affair." My stomach dropped and I gripped the phone tighter. "What? Who is this?" "I'm sorry, I can't say more, but if you want proof, check his phone. Look for messages from Amanda. You deserve better, Melissa." The line went dead. I stood there, frozen, my mind reeling. "Tom? An affair? It couldn't be true. We had our problems, sure, but he wouldn't, would he?" I took a deep breath, steeling myself before walking back into the dining room. Tom looked up, an easy smile on his face. "Everything okay, honey?" I forced a smile. "Just a wrong number." I sat down, my appetite gone. "How was your day at work?" Tom launched into a story about a difficult client, but I barely heard him. My eyes kept drifting to his phone, sitting face down on the table next to his plate. Could I really invade his privacy like that? But if he was cheating... "Mom?" Lily's voice snapped me back to reality. "Can I be excused? I finished my vegetables." I glanced at her plate, noting the artfully rearranged pile of broccoli. "Nice try, sweetie. Eat at least 3 more bites, then you can go." Lily groaned, but complied, shoveling the broccoli into her mouth with exaggerated disgust. "So dramatic," Tom chuckled. "Wonder where she gets that from?" I managed a weak laugh, my mind still on the mysterious phone call. As soon as Lily finished and scampered off to her room, I stood to clear the table. "I've got this," Tom said, standing up. "You cooked, I'll clean." "Thanks," I said, my voice sounding strained even to my own ears. "I think I'll go check on Lily, make sure she's starting her homework." As I turned to leave, Tom's phone buzzed. Without thinking, I glanced down at the screen. A text message notification flashed. "Amanda, can't wait to see you tomorrow. Miss you already." My heart stopped. It was true, all true. Tom reached for his phone, but I snatched it first. "Who's Amanda?" I asked, my voice trembling. The color drained from Tom's face. "Mel, I can explain." "Explain what?" I hissed, trying to keep my voice down so Lily wouldn't hear. "Explain how you're cheating on me, on our family?" "It's not what you think," Tom pleaded, reaching for the phone. "She's just a coworker." "A coworker who misses you and can't wait to see you?" I scrolled through the messages, each one a dagger to my heart. "How long, Tom? How long has this been going on?" Before he could answer, Lily's voice called from upstairs. "Mom, can you help me with my math homework?" I closed my eyes, taking a deep breath. "Coming, sweetie." I called back, my voice surprisingly steady. I looked at Tom, my husband of 12 years, the father of my child, now a stranger before me. "This isn't over," I said, my voice low and dangerous, not by a long shot. As I climbed the stairs to help Lily, my mind raced. How could I have been so blind? And more importantly, what was I going to do now? I couldn't sleep that night, Tom's betrayal gnawing at my insides. When morning came, I went through the motions of getting Lily ready for school, all while avoiding Tom's pleading eyes. "Mel, can we talk?" he asked as I poured Lily's cereal. "Not now," I hissed, nodding towards our daughter. The moment Lily's school bus pulled away, I turned to face Tom. "Start talking," he sighed, running a hand through his hair. "It was a mistake, Mel. A stupid one-time thing. It meant nothing." "One time?" I scoffed. "Those texts didn't look like a one-time thing, Tom." "I ended it, I swear. It won't happen again." I wanted to believe him. God, how I wanted to. But the seed of doubt had been planted, and it was already taking root. Over the next few weeks, I found myself watching Tom like a hawk. Every late night at the office, every text message, every phone call became suspect. I hated myself for it, but I couldn't stop. One afternoon, while doing laundry, I found a receipt in Tom's pocket. It was for a women's perfume, expensive. Definitely not my brand. My heart raced as I smoothed out the crumpled paper. That night, after Lily was in bed, I confronted Tom. "Care to explain this?" I asked, holding up the receipt. His eyes widened for a split second before he composed himself. "It's a gift for my mother. Her birthday's coming up." "Your mother hates perfume, Tom. She's allergic, remember?" He fumbled for words, but I cut him off. "Just tell me the truth, please." Tom's shoulders sagged. "I'm sorry, Mel. I thought I could end it, but..." I didn't hear the rest. The room was spinning, and I felt like I might be sick. The next day, I called in sick to work and waited for Tom to leave. Then I tore the house apart, searching for the perfume. I found it hidden in the back of his closet, along with a card. With shaking hands, I opened the envelope. To my darling Tom, thank you for the most incredible 6 months of my life. I can't wait for many more. All my love, Amanda. 6 months. Half a year of lies and betrayal. I was still sitting on the bedroom floor, surrounded by Tom's clothes and the damning evidence when the doorbell rang. Wiping my eyes, I went to answer it. Surprise! It was Freda, Tom's mother, holding a casserole dish. I thought I'd drop by and... Melissa, dear, what's wrong? I broke down then, telling her everything through my tears. Freda listened, her face growing harder with each word. That boy, she muttered, pulling me into a hug. I raised him better than this. As Freda comforted me, my phone buzzed. A text from Tom. Working late tonight. Don't wait up. Something in me snapped. Freda, I said, my voice steady for the first time in weeks. I need your help. We spent the afternoon planning how Freda would pick up Lily from school and keep her overnight. And I would find out exactly what working late meant. As evening fell, I parked my car across the street from Tom's office. At 6:30, I watched him leave the building with a woman I didn't recognize. Tall, blonde, younger than me. They walked to a nearby restaurant, laughing and holding hands. I followed them inside, my heart pounding. They were so engrossed in each other, they didn't notice me approach their table. Hello, Tom, I said, my voice ice cold. Aren't you going to introduce me to your coworker? The color drained from Tom's face as he looked up at me. Mel, what are you? I'm Melissa, I said, turning to the woman. Amanda, I presumed. Tom's wife, and you must be the reason my husband's been working late for the past 6 months. Amanda's eyes widened in shock. Wife? Tom, you said you were separated, I laughed bitterly. Oh, we're about to be. I turned back to Tom, who looked like he might be sick. Don't bother coming home tonight, or ever again. As I walked out of the restaurant, leaving chaos in my wake, I felt a strange mix of pain and exhilaration. The truth was out, and there was no going back. Now I just had to figure out what came next. I spent the next week in a haze of anger and determination. Tom's desperate calls and messages went unanswered as I focused on gathering evidence. Freda, bless her heart, had become my unexpected ally, watching Lily while I played detective. Are you sure about this, dear? Freda asked one evening as I prepared to tail Tom again. I nodded grimly. I need to know everything, Freda, for Lily's sake as much as my own. As I followed Tom's car to a swanky hotel downtown, my stomach churned. Part of me still hoped this was all a misunderstanding, that Tom would turn out to be planning a surprise party or something equally innocent. But as I watched him check in, arm in arm with Amanda, that last shred of hope died. I waited in the lobby, my heart pounding. When I saw them head to the hotel bar, I made my move. Slipping the concierge a 50, I got access to their room. My hands shook as I placed a small recording device under the bedside table. Just as I was about to leave, I heard voices in the hallway. Tom and Amanda, giggling like teenagers. I panicked, diving into the closet just as the door opened. Oh, Tom, Amanda purred. I've been waiting for this all day. I clamped a hand over my mouth, fighting the urge to be sick as I listened to them kiss. Then Tom's phone rang. It's Melissa, he sighed. I should take this. Hello? Tom's voice was carefully neutral. Tom, it's me, I heard my own voice tinny through the phone speaker. We need to talk about Lily's school project. Can you come home? There was a pause. I'm sorry, honey, but I'm stuck at the office. Big deadline tomorrow. Can we talk about it in the morning? The lie rolled off his tongue so easily, it took my breath away. I listened as Tom made more excuses, promising to be home early the next day. As soon as he hung up, Amanda giggled. You're getting good at that, baby. Practice makes perfect, Tom chuckled. Now, where were we? I couldn't take it anymore. I burst out of the closet, startling them both. Mel? Tom gasped, jumping away from Amanda. What the hell? I could ask you the same thing, I spat. Stuck at the office, huh? Amanda scrambled to cover herself with the bedsheet. Tom, you said your wife knew. I laughed bitterly. Oh, I know now. I know everything. Tom reached for me. Mel, please, let me explain. I slapped his hand away. Save it, Tom. I've heard enough of your lies. Grabbing my purse, I stormed out of the room, ignoring Tom's calls. In the elevator, I finally let the tears fall. But beneath the pain, a steely resolve was forming. Tom had made his choice, and now it was time to make mine. Back home, I found Freda waiting up for me. One look at my face told her everything. Oh, Melissa, she sighed, pulling me into a hug. I'm so sorry. I pulled away, wiping my eyes. Don't be. I'm done crying over him. Now I need your help. We stayed up late, planning our next move. By the time Freda left, I had a clear path forward. Tomorrow, I'd call a lawyer. Then, I'd start looking for a new place for Lily and me. As I crawled into bed, my phone buzzed with a text from Tom. We need to talk, please. I typed back a single word, goodbye. Then I blocked his number and turned off my phone. Tomorrow would be the start of a new chapter, and I was ready to face it head on. Tom had underestimated me, thinking I'd roll over and accept his betrayal. But he was about to learn just how wrong he was. The gloves were off, and I was ready to fight for the life Lily and I deserved. The next morning, I woke with a sense of purpose I hadn't felt in weeks. I called in sick to work, dropped Lily off at school, and headed straight to a divorce lawyer's office. As I sat in the waiting room, my resolve wavered. Was I really ready to end my marriage? Mrs. Thompson? The receptionist called. Mr. Daniels will see you now. I took a deep breath and stepped into the office. An hour later, I emerged with a folder full of paperwork and a head spinning with legal jargon. But one thing was clear. I was taking control of my life. On my way home, I stopped by a realtor's office to inquire about apartments. The idea of uprooting Lily broke my heart, but I couldn't stay in that house, surrounded by memories of Tom's betrayal. As I pulled into our driveway, I noticed Tom's car. My stomach clenched. He was supposed to be at work. Taking a steadying breath, I walked inside. Mel, Tom called from the living room. Thank God you're home. We need to talk. I steeled myself and walked in. Tom was pacing, looking disheveled. Where have you been? I've been trying to reach you all morning. I had some errands to run, I said coldly, clutching my purse with the divorce papers inside. Tom ran a hand through his hair. Look, Mel, I know I messed up, but I love you. I love our family. Please, can we work this out? I laughed bitterly. Work it out? After months of lying? After I caught you red-handed? You've got to be kidding me. It was a mistake, he pleaded. I'll do anything to make it right. Counseling. Whatever you want. I was about to retort when I noticed something on the coffee table. A woman's scarf. One I'd never seen before. What's that? I asked, my voice dangerously low. Tom followed my gaze, his face paling. Mel, it's not what you think. Not what I think? I snatched up the scarf. You brought her here? To our home? She came by to talk, that's all, Tom stammered. She wants to apologize. Apologize? I was shouting now, beyond caring. Where is she? Still hiding in our bedroom? I stormed up the stairs, Tom hot on my heels. I flung open our bedroom door, half expecting to find Amanda cowering behind it, but the room was empty. See? Tom said. There's no one here. Can we please just talk? I whirled on him. Talk about what, Tom? About how you've been lying to me for months? About how you brought your mistress into our home? Into the bed we share? Tom reached for me, but I jerked away. Don't touch me, I hissed. Just then, we heard the front door open. Mom? Dad? I forgot my science book. Lily. My heart dropped. She wasn't supposed to be home yet. Up here, sweetie, I called, trying to keep my voice steady. Lily appeared in the doorway, her eyes widening as she took in the scene. What's going on? I forced a smile. Nothing, honey. Just a little disagreement. Did you find your book? She nodded slowly, her gaze darting between Tom and me. Are you guys getting divorced? The question hit me like a punch to the gut. I looked at Tom, saw the same shock mirrored on his face. Lily. Tom started, but I cut him off. We don't know yet, sweetheart, I said softly. But whatever happens, we both love you very much. That will never change. Lily's lower lip trembled. I hate this, she whispered, then turned and ran down the stairs. I moved to follow her, but Tom grabbed my arm. Mel, please, give me one more chance. I yanked my arm free, fixing him with a steely glare. You had your chance, Tom. You had 12 years of chances. Now it's my turn to decide what happens next. With that, I walked out of the bedroom, leaving Tom standing there. As I descended the stairs, I knew I had a choice to make. Fight for a marriage that was already broken, or fight for the future Lily and I deserved. And in that moment, I knew exactly what I had to do. I stood in our bedroom, methodically packing suitcases for Lily and myself. My hands shook as I folded clothes, but I forced myself to keep moving. Tom hovered in the doorway, his pleas falling on deaf ears. Mel, please, he begged. We can work this out. Think about Lily. I whirled on him, anger flaring. Don't you dare use our daughter as a bargaining chip. You should have thought about her before you decided to cheat. A small voice came from behind Tom. Mom? Dad? What's happening? Lily stood there, eyes wide and brimming with tears. My heart shattered all over again. Sweetie, I said, kneeling to her level, we're going to stay with Grandma Freda for a while, okay? But why? Lily's lower lip trembled. Is it because of me? No, baby, I pulled her close. It's not because of you. It's grown-up stuff. Tom stepped forward. Lily, honey, your mom and I just need some time apart. Don't. I cut him off. Don't lie to her. Not anymore. I took a deep breath, looking into Lily's confused eyes. Your dad did something that hurt me very much. We need some time away to figure things out. Lily's face crumpled. Are you getting divorced? The question hung in the air, heavy and suffocating. I looked at Tom, saw the desperation in his eyes, and made a decision. I don't know yet, sweetheart, but right now we need some space. I finished packing quickly, ignoring Tom's continued pleas. As we headed for the door, he made one last attempt. Mel, wait! He grabbed my arm. What about this? He held up a framed photo of us on our wedding day. We looked so young, so happy. For a moment, I faltered. Then I remembered the lies, the betrayal, Amanda's scarf on our coffee table. I steeled myself. Keep it, I said coldly. It's just another lie now. The drive to Freda's was tense, Lily sniffling in the back seat. I called Freda on the way, giving her a brief explanation. By the time we arrived, she was waiting on the porch, arms open. Oh, my dears, she enveloped us both in a hug. Come inside. I've got tea ready. As Lily settled in the guest room, I sat with Freda in her cozy kitchen, spilling out the whole sordid tale. Her face grew harder with each word. That boy, she muttered. I raised him better than this. I pulled out my phone, showing her the photos I'd taken of Tom and Amanda together, the recordings from the hotel room. Freda's hands shook as she looked through the evidence. Melissa, she said finally, her voice firm, you listen to me. Your family, no matter what happens with Tom, you and Lily will always have a home here. Tears sprang to my eyes at her words. Thank you, Freda. I don't know what I'd do without you. Just then, my phone buzzed. A text from Tom. Please come home. We can fix this. I love you. I stared at the screen, my finger hovering over the delete button. Then another text came through. I've sent Amanda away. It's over. I choose you and Lily. My heart raced. Was it possible? Could we really fix this? Freda must have seen the conflict on my face. What is it, dear? I showed her the texts. She read them, her expression unreadable. Melissa, she said slowly, only you can decide what's right for you and Lily. But remember, actions speak louder than words, and Tom's actions have been shouting for months. I nodded, a strange calm settling over me. In that moment, I knew what I had to do. I picked up my phone and began to type. Tom, it's too late for I'm sorry. You made your choice. Now I'm making mine. I hit send, then blocked his number. Turning to Freda, I took a deep breath. Can you recommend a good divorce lawyer? Freda squeezed my hand, a mix of sadness and pride in her eyes. I know just the person. We'll call first thing in the morning. As I settled into bed that night, Lily curled up beside me. I felt a glimmer of hope for the first time in months. The road ahead would be hard, but I was ready to face it. For myself and for Lily. Tom had underestimated me, thinking I'd forgive and forget, but he was about to learn just how strong I could be. The morning of the confrontation, I woke with a knot in my stomach. Freda and I had planned every detail, but I still felt unprepared. How do you prepare to face the man who shattered your world? Are you sure about this? Freda asked as we drove to my old house. Lily was at school, blissfully unaware of the storm about to break. I nodded, gripping the steering wheel. He needs to understand what he's done, to all of us. Tom's car was in the driveway when we arrived. I took a deep breath and rang the doorbell. Freda, a solid presence beside me. Tom opened the door, his eyes widening at the sight of us. Mom? Mel? What's going on? We need to talk, I said, pushing past him into the house. The living room was a mess, pizza boxes and beer cans littering the coffee table. Tom followed us in, running a hand through his disheveled hair. Look, if this is about the divorce papers. It's about everything, Tom, Freda cut in, her voice sharp. It's about how you've betrayed your family, your vows, and everything I thought I raised you to be. Tom's face paled. Mom, you don't understand. Oh, I understand plenty, snapped. Melissa showed me everything, the photos, the recordings. How could you, Tom? I watched as Tom's defenses crumbled under his mother's disappointment. He sank onto the couch, head in his hands. I never meant for it to go this far. He mumbled. It just happened. Things like this don't just happen, I said, my voice trembling with anger. You made choices, Tom. Choices that destroyed our family. Tom looked up, his eyes pleading. I'll end it with Amanda. I swear. We can start over. Go to counseling. It's too late for that. I cut him off. Do you have any idea what you've done to Lily? She overheard us fighting. She thinks it's her fault we're separating. Tom's face crumpled. God, no. I never wanted to hurt her. But you did, Freda said. You hurt everyone who loves you. Just then we heard the front door open. Dad, I forgot my math book. Lily froze in the doorway, taking in the scene before her. Mom, Grandma, what's going on? The room fell silent. I looked at Tom, silently challenging him to explain. He cleared his throat. Lily, sweetie, your mom and Grandma are here because Daddy did something very wrong. Lily's eyes filled with tears. Is this why you and Mom are fighting? Why we had to leave? I knelt beside her, my heart breaking. Yes, honey, your dad, he broke a very important promise to me. The promise you made at your wedding? Lily asked, her voice small. I nodded, unable to speak past the lump in my throat. Tom moved towards us, but Freda held him back. Let them be, Tom. You've done enough damage. Lily looked between us, her face crumpling. I hate this. I hate all of you. She turned and ran out of the house, slamming the door behind her. Lily, I called, racing after her. But by the time I reached the street, she was nowhere in sight. Panic gripped me as I ran back inside. She's gone. We have to find her. Tom was already grabbing his keys. I'll check the park. Mom, can you drive around the neighborhood? Freda nodded, her face grim. Melissa, you stay here in case she comes back, and call the police if we don't find her soon. As they left, I sank onto the couch, my head spinning. How had it come to this? Our family was in pieces, and now Lily was out there alone, scared and confused. I closed my eyes, praying silently. Please let her be okay. Let us find her. And please give me the strength to put our family back together, even if it looks different than before. The clock ticked loudly in the empty house, each second an eternity, as I waited for news. The confrontation had spiraled out of control, and now everything hung in the balance. Whatever happened next would shape the rest of our lives. I just hoped we were strong enough to weather the storm. The hours after Lily's disappearance were a blur of panic and frantic searching. I paced the living room, alternating between calling Lily's friends and staring out the window, praying to see her walking up the driveway. When my phone finally rang, I nearly dropped it in my haste to answer. Lily? It's me. Tom's voice came through, tight with worry. I found her. We're at the old treehouse in the woods behind the school. Relief flooded through me, quickly followed by a surge of anger. Put her on the phone, now. Mom? Lily's small voice made my heart clench. Oh, sweetheart, are you okay? We've been so worried. I'm sorry, she sniffled. I couldn't take it anymore. I know, baby. We're coming to get you. Stay with your dad, okay? I hung up and called Freda, who arrived minutes later to drive us to the school. The ride was tense, filled with unspoken accusations and regrets. As we approached the treehouse, I saw Tom and Lily sitting on a low branch, their heads close together in conversation. For a moment, the scene was so achingly familiar that I felt my resolve waver. Then reality came crashing back as Lily spotted us and ran into my arms. I held her tight, breathing in the scent of her hair, my eyes meeting Tom's over her head. We need to talk, I said, my voice steadier than I felt. All of us. We gathered in a small clearing, the late afternoon sun filtering through the leaves. Lily sat between Freda and me, while Tom stood awkwardly to the side. Lily, I began, taking her hand, I know this is hard and confusing, but I need you to understand that none of this is your fault. Then why is our family falling apart? She asked, her voice cracking. I looked at Tom, silently urging him to step up. He cleared his throat. It's my fault, sweetheart, he said, kneeling in front of Lily. I made some terrible mistakes and I hurt your mom very badly. The lady I saw you with? Lily asked, surprising us all. I saw you kissing her outside my school once. The revelation hit me like a physical blow. I stood up, my hands shaking. You brought her to Lily's school? Tom's face paled. It wasn't. I didn't mean. Stop, Freda interrupted, her voice sharp. No more excuses, Tom. It's time to face the consequences of your actions. I took a deep breath, steeling myself for what I had to do next. Lily, your dad and I... We can't be together anymore. I'm filing for divorce. The words hung in the air, heavy and final. Lily burst into tears, burying her face in Freda's shoulder. Tom looked like he'd been punched. Mel, please, he begged. Give me one more chance. I'll do anything. I shook my head, feeling a strange sense of calm wash over me. It's too late, Tom. You've had your chances. Now I need to do what's best for Lily and me. And what about me? Tom's voice rose, anger replacing desperation. You're just going to cut me out of your lives? You did that yourself, Freda said, standing up with Lily, when you decided your selfish desires were more important than your family. As if on cue, Tom's phone buzzed. He glanced at it, his face flushing with guilt. Let me guess, I said, my voice cold. Amanda? Tom's silence was all the confirmation I needed. I turned to Freda, suddenly exhausted. Can you take Lily back to your place? I'll be there soon. Freda nodded, leading a still sniffling Lily away. I watched them go, feeling the weight of the past few months pressing down on me. So this is it? Tom asked, his voice small. Everything we built just over? I looked at him, really looked at him, for the first time in weeks. The man I'd loved, the father of my child, now a stranger. Yes, Tom. It's over. I'll have my lawyer contact you about the divorce proceedings. As I walked away, leaving Tom standing alone in the clearing, I felt a mix of grief and liberation. The road ahead would be hard, but for the first time in months, I felt hope. Hope for a future where Lily and I could heal, where we could build a new life free from betrayal and lies. The sun was setting as I drove to Freda's house, casting long shadows across the road. It felt symbolic somehow, the end of one chapter, the beginning of another. Whatever came next, I knew I had the strength to face it, for myself and for Lily. 1 year after the divorce, I stood in our new apartment, surrounded by the warmth of a home Lily and I had built together. The wounds of Tom's betrayal had slowly healed, leaving scars that reminded me of my strength rather than my pain. The doorbell rang, and I braced myself. It was Tom, here to pick up Lily for his weekend visitation. I opened the door, taking in his disheveled appearance. The past year hadn't been kind to him. Hey, Mel, he said, his voice rough. Is Lily ready? Before I could answer, Lily bounded down the stairs, backpack in hand. Hi, Dad! She hugged him briefly before turning to me. Bye, Mom. See you Sunday. As they left, I felt a pang of sadness, not for what I'd lost, but for what could have been. But that feeling was quickly replaced by a sense of pride in how far Lily and I had come. My phone buzzed with a text from Freda. Don't forget, dinner at my place tonight. I've got news. I smiled, grateful for the unconventional family we'd formed. Freda had been my rock through everything, and our bond had only grown stronger. Later that evening, as we sat around Freda's dining table, she dropped a bombshell. I've decided to sell the house, she announced. It's too big for just me and, well, I think it's time for a fresh start. I reached out, squeezing her hand. Are you sure? That house has been in your family for generations. Freda nodded, her eyes misty but determined. It's time. Besides, I was thinking maybe you and Lily might like to buy it, at a family discount, of course. I gasped, overwhelmed by her generosity. Freda, I don't know what to say. Say yes, she urged. It would mean the world to me to keep it in the family, to see it filled with love and laughter again. As I considered her offer, my phone rang. It was Tom's number, but when I answered, it was a woman's voice. Amanda. Melissa? It's Amanda. I need your help. Tom's in the hospital. He's been in an accident. My blood ran cold. Is Lily okay? She wasn't with him, Amanda assured me. But Tom, he's asking for you. I looked at Freda, who had heard everything. She nodded, understanding without words. At the hospital, I found Tom in a small room, his face bruised and bandaged. Amanda sat by his bed, looking lost and scared. Mel, Tom croaked when he saw me. I'm so sorry. For everything. I took a deep breath, years of anger and hurt rising to the surface. But as I looked at him, broken and vulnerable, I felt something shift inside me. I forgive you, Tom, I said, surprising even myself. Not for you, but for me. For Lily. We can't move forward if we're stuck in the past. Tears streamed down Tom's face. I've lost everything. My job, my family, even Amanda's leaving. I glanced at Amanda, who nodded sadly. It's true, I can't do this anymore. In that moment, I saw our lives laid bare, the choices we'd made, the consequences we'd faced. And I realized that forgiveness didn't mean forgetting or going back. It meant finding the strength to move forward. You haven't lost everything, I told Tom. You still have Lily, and if you're willing to put in the work, you can rebuild your life. It won't be the same, but it can be good. As I left the hospital that night, I felt a weight lift from my shoulders. The future stretched out before me, full of possibilities. Freda's offer of the house, a symbol of new beginnings. My career at the pharmacy, flourishing in ways I never expected. And Lily, growing into a strong, resilient young woman. I drove home to the apartment that had been our sanctuary this past year. Soon we'd be moving into Freda's house, our house. A home filled with memories, both old and new. As I climbed into bed that night, I thought about the journey that had brought me here, the pain, the betrayal, the strength I'd found within myself. And for the first time in a long time, I felt truly at peace. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new joys, new opportunities to grow. But tonight, In this moment, I was exactly where I needed to be, whole, healed, and ready for whatever life had in store.